Hello, everyone. Welcome to my YouTube channel. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Adrielle, and I am currently narrating a story of my life dating back from January 2016. In the previous episode, I talked about the first half of September and how it was a hassle to get my rental assistance. In this episode, I'm going to talk about the second half of September and all the stuff I went through. So, here it goes. So, y'all, I got my rental assistance. Yay, right? But that night I was like, "Oh no, this is a battle. Living in Hidden Valley, going through this wilderness, it's a battle." Um but I was so thankful for all the rental assistance opportunities I was able to get because I was able to get two at that point. One for January 2021, and then the second one was the one for July, August, and September. I just thought to myself, hey, I might as well just go around the internet looking for rental assistance in the state of Georgia. So that was what I was doing at night after devotion. I was just going on different websites and I found one, y'all. I found one for the state of Georgia. It was a rental assistance that was going to cover a person's rent for 18 months and I qualified. So I said, you know what? I'm going to apply. That very night, I applied. Now, here's the thing when I applied, I put the leasing manager's um, email as the landlord because I was so tired of dealing with Pepper. Now, mind you, Pepper's the only one who deals with the rent and rental assistance stuff. But I'm like, hey, if the leasing manager can deal with it, I'd rather have her deal with it because she seems to be on top of stuff. So I applied and I put the leasing manager's email as the landlord. The next day, which was the 15th, I get a email from the leasing manager like, "Hey, Adriel, you're very welcome for for yesterday and everything." And she says, "Also, by the way, I got your email about a new rental assistance. Unfortunately, I wouldn't be able to do that. You would have to add Pepper to the email, not me. She's the one that's responsible for that." And I'm like, "Oh goodness." I'm like, "Yo, I'm so tired of dealing with Pepper." So I was like, okay, thank you very much, Lisa Manager. And she's like, you're welcome. So I went back to the application. I rectified the email and, added Pepper's email and took the Lisa Manager's email off of it. So I'm like, oh man, now I have to deal with Pepper all over again. September 16th, y'all. Also on that day, I get a letter in the mail from this credit card company. I was pre-approved for a credit card. Um, they were inviting me to apply for the card. I had this invitation code and stuff like that. I had up until September 30th to apply, and the if I didn't apply by September 30th, that was it. Now here's the thing with me, y'all. I had credit cards already that I hadn't yet paid for. I was already in debt. I didn't want to add any more debt into what I had already. And plus, y'all, I just didn't want to do it. I didn't want to do it, and I didn't think it was a smart move for me to apply for the credit card. So I just left it on my counter. The September 17th, the next day, I got denied by London for the data scientist position. I said, you know what? I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done. September 25th, I had $29 in my account. I said, you know what? I'm gonna apply for that credit card. I'm gonna apply for the credit card. The credit limit was $300. I said, you know what? Let me do that because at this point, y'all, the only source of income I was getting was handouts from my mom. That was it. But I remember getting a pep talk from my mom saying that, I need to get a job. So I didn't want to depend solely on her. So I was like, listen, let me just apply for this credit card. This could help me. And who knows what can happen afterwards. Now, this is something I really want to talk about. September 28th. September 28th, I remember being in my bedroom. And the way my bedroom was structured, there was this built in table from the wall. And all I had to do was just, put my chair and have all my stuff organized as a desk. So I remember sitting on my chair and just looking at my shelf, looking at the books I had, the notes I had, everything. And there was this little mini notepad, y'all. I think I got it from a retreat that I went to back in 2017 or 2018. I can't remember, but it was this mini notepad. I remember looking at it and I said, you know what? I'm going to write a letter to Brandon. Said I'm going to write a letter to Brandon that the day we meet, I'm going to show him the letter so he can read, what I wrote in the notepad. So I poured out my heart on that notepad. I wrote down all that I was thinking, my thoughts that I had towards him, how I felt about the situation, how I felt about him and everything. I wrote it in that notepad and I signed it. I think I signed September 28th, 2021. Yeah. So I was like, yeah, when I meet Brandon, I'm going to give it to him. He's going to read it. And yeah, so I did that. Yeah, I did that. So that was pretty much the end of September, y'all. Let me do a recap. So my apartment, y'all, I got the rental assistance. Thank God. The job I got denied from London, the data scientist position. Brandon, I wrote a letter to him. Um, the neighbors, oh, at this point, y'all, I honestly believe that the neighbors had moved out. Yeah, I believe the neighbors had moved out, y'all. I think they just no longer were there. Money was tight. Um, I was very thankful for my mom's handouts. I was very thankful for that because that was all that I had basically. Also, I was thankful for the credit card as well. Um, I'm calling all my bills. Yes, all the places that I like owed money to or like my bills, I would always call to reschedule. I think one of them that I called was some of my credit card bills. Like I'll just reschedule for the next month and stuff like that. And yeah, and I was praying seriously about Pepper because I'm like, girl, you're not gonna mess me up. You are not gonna mess up my stay in Hidden Valley. So that was pretty much what happened in the month of September. I feel like September was way harsh than August, but things get really harsher. Right? Is that a word? Harsher? Things get really tough in October, November, and December, y'all. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So next episode, I'll talk about the month of October and everything I went through. So if you're liking the likely story, please like, comment, subscribe. Please also share my videos. I would truly appreciate that. And until next time, bye.